Hello, thank you for watching. Jared Hood. Going to do a preview of Super Bowl 55. Hopefully, I can tell you something different than what you've been learning the last 2 weeks. What else can you say? It's mini goat versus the goat, right? Best player I think I've ever seen to this point, Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady, who is probably the best football player of all time. I know you can argue a lot of different things, and maybe some years the stats aren't there and whatnot, but um, his numbers on his best days are comparable to anybody's numbers on their best days, and nobody can put up the rings that he's put up. I mean, it's a hard argument when you have both of those things. But Patrick Mahomes, 3 years in, we've never seen anything like this before. I guess 4 years in, but 3 years as a starter. As somebody who tries to appreciate these athletes and the sports stuff, I really it's impressive. It's beyond impressive what he's been doing. I didn't get around to doing the videos I wanted to do. I wanted to break them down. I wanted to break both those guys down in depth. Maybe I'll try to get into a little bit, but it's not going to be what I wanted. Had a lot of snow here on the East Coast, and my day job, I do a lot of snow removal for it. So haven't been able to do it, but I'm glad I'm able to get this video up, and thank you for watching if you are. So getting into it, the Chiefs are going to be the first team with an opportunity to go back to back since the Patriots in the early 2000s. And the NFL is it's the longest of the four major American sports without a back-to-back champion. So pretty interesting there. Definitely a little bit of history if you're into that stuff. And then obviously the other side, the Buccaneers. One Super Bowl in history, 2002, if I'm not mistaken, the John Gruden one where they beat the Raiders, who traded John Gruden, the coach, to the Bucs. Crazy. Us Eagles fans will always remember Rondé Barber interception to close the vet. That's a heartbreaker. And that was the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl, and then the Bucs dominated. So that's their only appearance, if I'm not mistaken, in franchise history. And I know that's their only win. They're the only team, though. This is going to be the first ever time that they're going to be host city, which is really awesome history and pretty cool. And they chose to wear their away jerseys, which I was a little. I don't know. If you're into the color matchup, I think it looks better if they're wearing white, but I don't know. I was kind of hoping you're the first team to host it. Wear your home jerseys. But anyways, that's schematics and not really that important in the first place. That's just one of those things. I mean, I remember in the beginning of the year when Brady signed with the Bucs, I was laughing be the first ever to host the Super Bowl, and here we are. He actually did it. It's impressive. It's insane. The way that the Bucs can win this football game, though, isn't just going to be with what Brady does on offense. We'll get into that, but to me, the most important factor of this football game is definitely going to be the Bucs defensive line versus the Chiefs offensive line. If you look at the Chiefs offensive line, Fisher getting hurt is a really big deal. I know early in his career it was a slow start. He was a pretty high draft pick. Andy Reid's first pick. He was number 1 overall. Excuse me. He's developed into a very, very solid offensive lineman. He gets hurt. Now they have to rotate 2 guys over. One guy from guard to tackle, another tackle to the other side. He's playing tackle now on the whole other side. And I know it's not that big of a deal, but when you're looking, even just moving tackle to tackle, if you're looking from one side to the other, you're used to going right, now you're going left. You're used to going left, now you're going right. It is almost like trying to write with a different hand, if you understand what I mean. And then have to step a new guy up into the other tackle position because of this. So fortunate they're able to rotate some guys and get their best offensive linemen that are available there. But it's still, when you're talking the Bucs defensive line, I mean, Vita Vea, I know he got hurt in the beginning of the year, but he might be their best player on the defensive line, and he's going to be the least talked about. Sue is incredible. I know he's not as good as he was before, but he has the impact. His presence is there. He's able to push some guys around. JPP, I mean, what can you say about him? He's after the incident, what is still going on through his career is it's impressive, no doubt. And then William Wilson, he has the most pressures of anybody per game on quarterbacks this year. So the Chiefs' offensive line already with a guy down, one of their best offensive linemen down, they were in definitely a position. Now, you look at the other side of the ball, that's really going to be, to me, the difference. Patrick Mahomes likes to hold on to the ball. We know that. It's part of, look, if he can get his guys downfield as long as possible open, no one's running with Tyreek Hill. And nothing against the Bucs secondary, but no one can cover the skill positions of the Chiefs. So that's why Patrick Mahomes holds on to the ball the way he does, because he's trying to give them time. If you're able to get to them and you don't have to if you're able to basically keep 6 or 7 guys in coverage, and you can rush with 3 or 4 or maybe 5 maximum, you really have a really good opportunity to beat either of these quarterbacks. That's just, we know that's the way to do it, and the Bucs, they have that opportunity. I really feel that way. The way to offset that, though, is we know how skilled they are everywhere else. So you're going to be able to get some sweeps with Tyreek Hill. You're going to be able to get a lot of screens or draws, a lot of motion with Kelsey. If Sammy Watkins is in there, you're able to line him up in slot or on the outside, or even right next to a tight end. They're able to do a lot of different things. And with the running backs, if you do get a good screen here and there, or a nice draw play, or even just a pop off a good run, you line up and you put your head down, and the offensive lineman just kind of push them forward. If you can get those things from the Chiefs, they're going to be impossible to beat on any day, but especially in this situation when your best opportunity is getting to Patrick Mahomes. So I am very, very, like, that to me is probably, outside of the 2 quarterbacks, that to me is my favorite matchup in this game. I'm very, very excited to see how that plays out. The Bucs' last 7 games on offense, though, also, if they're able to do what they can on defense, their last 7 games on offense since they played the Chiefs have just been incredible. We've had maybe 3 bad quarters, I would say, and a couple slow, things here and there. But I mean, the bye week for them seemed to be a huge deal. They went from an offense that even I thought was a little, like, I don't know, maybe they're a little lost or just slow. There's a lot of things. They were running the least amount of motion in football by far, which is, I mean, that's crazy. Tom Brady, they gave him the reins, and then all of a sudden the offense has looked so different since that bye week. I don't know if he's calling plays. I wouldn't say he's like autogramming it out here, back in the day. But I do think that he has a lot more say on, okay, we're going to run this direction, we're going to pass, we're going to do one of these 3 or 4 plays in this situation. I think the coaching staff understands him more, and he has a lot more control at the line of scrimmage. He's able to throw a lot more motions in. He's what makes Tom Brady as good as a guy like Peyton Manning, or maybe as guys who he's Aaron Rodgers, right? We all know Aaron Rodgers has way more skill than Tom Brady. But what keeps Tom Brady on those levels is he's as elite as anybody at the line of scrimmage. And I know Aaron Rodgers is next level at the line of scrimmage, but so Tom Brady having more control on offense, more control on changing a play here, knowing what his offensive line is going to do, knowing what his receivers' tendencies are in this situation, more time, more practice, everything, and him having more control. I mean, I know I just said the offensive line. I'll bring them back up again. They've been incredibly impressive all season. They haven't given up a ton of pressures or sacks or hits. And we all know if Tom Brady has time, he's the quickest to get the ball out. So he helps your offensive line when you're in pass protection anyways. But the fact that he can rely on them a little more, and look, Anthony Hitchens, Chris Jones, and Frank Clark are going to be getting after it. I mean, Chris Jones, I think he's top 10 in sacks this year, top 8 in sacks. He's pretty high up there. So if he can get to Brady, I mean, we all look. That was the old joke. You can hit Brady, it rattles him. But that's just how it is for every quarterback. He's the greatest quarterback of all time, and that's very true with him, but it's true with literally every single player. Look at my guy, Carson Wentz, this year, who maybe we'll have to do a video about that here soon. But you hit anybody, you hit any quarterback, yeah, you're going to have an opportunity to win that football game. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes are no different than that. But that's where the Chiefs' defense has been top 5 all year. And I've been so back and forth, like, they've done what they've had to do. Like, they have been bend, don't break, right? And that's with the offense that they have. That's all you have to be, and then you're going to win 13, 14 games that year, like they did this year, 14. So everything's just lining up, though. The other side, Tampa, other than so the pressures on Brady last game, he threw those 2 interceptions because of them. But other than maybe like 10 plays, the last 2 games, their offense is really, really. They've been able to handle defenses that I thought were at least capable of slowing them down, and they were able to still score their points. I mean, we saw what they did to the Packers there, and I know the Packers don't have a great defense, but I thought the Packers were going to at least be able to slow them down. We saw what they did at the end of that first half. things like that, like those kind of things have just been falling for them. Things have been going their way. As good as the Chiefs defense has been this season, and I thought the Bills game they were very impressive, and I thought um, through most of the Cleveland game they were very impressive. This is Tom Brady is better than those two quarterbacks, and I think they are just as skilled as those offenses, if not even more skilled, if that makes sense. So I've been back and forth. I've changed my mind 100 times this week, but everything's just fallen in line for Brady, and I'm picking the Bucks. I mean, you don't want to bet against either of these two guys. You don't. You're going to lose more than you're going to win if you do that. But um, you got to make a pick, and my pick would definitely be I got to ride with the Bucks on this one. Again, everything falling in line in the sense of first team to host an NFL Super Bowl. It's in their home stadium. That Tom Brady didn't come here just to be here. He never does. And I know that you could say the same thing about Pat maybe in the future, but it's like one of those until I see the Dragon Slate, and I know they're 2-2 against each other. But until I see the Dragon Slate on that stage, it's almost like I gotta kind of go with him. And look, if you know me or if you watched my videos, you know I love Andy Reid and I love Patrick Mahomes, and I drool over that Chiefs offense. It is incredible. But I just feel like the perfect storm with the defensive line and the offensive line of the Chiefs where they're at, and the defensive line of the Bucks where they're at. If they can get pressure on Mahomes and make him get the ball out before Tyreek Hill's able to get 15, 20 yards downfield, before Kelsey's able to get 10, 12, 13 yards downfield. And that to me, it's just the perfect storm is going to be able to. It's there for them. It's there for the taking. And I really think the Bucks can win it. Again, not going to be surprised if the other team wins it. How could you be surprised in a Super Bowl if one team, either team, but especially the Chiefs? This is one of the all-time, in my mind, great teams, and it would be a remarkable story, which is just another thing to hang your hat on if you're Tom Brady. I mean, he beat Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and now he's going against Patrick Mahomes, all in the playoff run. It's one of those. It's all setting up for him. I don't even know who I'm rooting for. I'll be honest with you. I think I'm rooting for the Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But we all know I love Tom Brady too. So interested. I do love the Bucs staff. I like Todd Bowles a lot. I think he's a great defensive mind, and I think he's going to dial up a lot of better things. I'm not saying they were sagging off last time, but it was a week before their bye. If you do make the Super Bowl, you're playing this team, so maybe he didn't pull everything out. I would hope that's not the case, but look, it's possible. They're more healthy on the defensive line. I just think with Todd Bowles and how creative he can be, Tom Brady losing twice to the same team, especially now on this stage, it's just hard to see it. It is. And Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians giving Tom Brady the reins and letting him do what he's doing, I think has been wonders for this team. And I think that is part of the difference between the last time they played and this time they played, honestly. To me, it's going to be one of those team with the ball last wins. It could be like 31 or 34-31 or 34-30. 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go, Tom Brady has the ball. I'm going to think he's going to win the football game. You reverse that and say the Chiefs are losing and they have the ball in that situation, I think they're going to win the football game. I think that's just it's one of those kind of games. It really is. And both these quarterbacks are capable of pulling off magic and doing their own thing. I know it's almost crazy to say that you're going against the Chiefs because the Chiefs have to almost beat themselves most of the time to lose, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna go with the Bucs though. One last thing before we get out of here: Hall of Fame will probably be announced either I think tonight or tomorrow. The guys in it. Peyton Manning is going to be clearly a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's not even a question. And I'd like to see Calvin Johnson, man, Megatron. I'd love to see him get in. So hopefully we get that news here in the next couple of days. But the game itself, Super Bowl, very excited. Usually not a big halftime guy, but we'll see. I'm gonna watch it. I always watch it, and they usually impress me, even though I'm not here for that. But we'll see. Hopefully, whatever you're watching it for turns out to be really good. Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady is definitely the highest on my list. So thank you for watching, Jared Hood.